Like, see right at the top.
Oh, yeah.
So when it gets to 20, then so, hello everybody, what's up? This is the second episode of the GD1A Sports Podcast. I'm Wacey.
And I'm Dally.
And we're going to discuss the previous week of the sports world of 1A in Utah. Quite a bit to talk about. Last week we had a few teams that there wasn't really a lot of information about them, so we didn't have much to say. We got a little bit on them this week, so we'll kind of cover what they've been doing, how their season's been going so far. Still an early season, still only a few weeks in. A couple of these teams only 2 weeks in, but
yeah, and this last week was just jam-packed. I mean, my information for basketball right now is just, it's exploded. So I've tried to do as much research as I can to, get the word out there for everyone listening. And, thank you to everyone who listens. I mean, in the first week I didn't expect as much
traffic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we've had a lot of people, even reach out to us that's not even from around here.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody everyone's wanted to hear a 1A podcast. So, I mean,
well, it sounds like it.
Just thank you.
And, while we're on the thank yous real quick, thanks to Coach Gines. I know he has sent this out to other coaches that he talks to and communicates with, and so that's the way our show is going to get out there, is we need people to share it, to let other people know. And like you said, so far it's been pretty good. We've had in the triple digits of views and downloads, which I'm like you, I didn't really expect that much, especially in the first week. But it's really cool to have that, and I've had people come up to me this past week and say, hey, we watched your podcast, we enjoyed it, keep it up. So people, or keep going, people says keep going with it. So people do want to hear it, and again, we really appreciate it.
Yeah,
so,
and like we said in our last one, we aren't editing anything, so what you're hearing is what we're throwing out. There's none of that. I mean,
yep.
Wacey already has a hard enough time with tech stuff, so I'm not going to throw any more on him. So.
I do.
But,
well, and my wife has been helping a lot too, helping with creating the logos and stuff like that. So thank you to her we had to fix it. Our old logo, we made it before we put the 1A in the title, so the logo was there, but it was missing the 1A. But she got that fixed for us, and it's updated on there now. And I just want to ask you guys too, when you do tune in and watch this or listen to it, whatever you do, please give us a follow on Spotify. I can't remember. I was looking at YouTube last night, and I think it is on YouTube, this one. I think it's my other podcast.
It is, yeah. I actually went and looked up because you did say that you wasn't sure if it was there. But, yeah, it is on there, so you can find it on YouTube. You just have to search the 1A GD Sports Podcast, and it seems like you have to scroll down a video or two, and it's right there.
Yeah, probably where we're so new and haven't had traffic on YouTube yet. You might have to look for it, but... So it must be my other one that I was thinking about that wasn't on there. So, but yeah, give us a follow. We've had a couple of people comment on there as well, and that's kind of what we're looking for. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you think, and if you have some ideas or anything like that, we're always open to that too. So, with that being said,
let's jump right in.
Okay. So we decided this week we're going to kind of start with the top 5 teams, kind of ranking wise, and it's a little different. We went off of Des News and Max Preps, and they both kind of have them almost opposite.
I mean, looking at teams around the state, I feel like Des News and Max Preps, they want more or less go off records maybe, and I mean, you can't really do that because, I mean, you got teams that's playing hard, 2-3A squads, and then you've got some of these teams who haven't really played anyone but private charter schools, that their program's not as strong.
Right.
So, but we're gonna throw them out there. I can't wait for next week because the actual RPI will be coming out on the 19th. So
Which is next Friday,
next
right?
Friday, we will actually get the actual RPI from UHSAA to talk about the teams that are, put on.
That'll be a more true ranking.
Yeah.
With
but as for now, we want to cover these between Des News and Max Preps. So
and like I said, they do seem a little off, and some of them there's a lower record team that's higher in the rankings, but it's fine. We still are going to discuss them and let you know where they stand. So right now, Des News has Paiute number 1,
and this is boys.
This is boys. Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, this is the boys. So number 1 is Paiute, and they're at a 6-2 record. Number 2 is Panguitch at a 3-4 record. Number 3, they've got Rich at 1-3. Number 4 is Bryce Valley with a 5-1 record, and number 5 is Tabiona with a 3-2 record. Rich is kind of catching up. They were behind, only played the one game. They've got 4 in them now, and I think they've been out-of-state teams. Well, they did play one. Who did you say they played that was in? Oh, North Summit.
Yeah,
North
that
Summit.
Was the girls, I believe.
Oh,
they
okay.
played North Summit. Their boys played that Idaho team, like we discussed last
Idaho.
week.
That was their first
and
game.
then they played Deseret Peak from Tooele. They beat them pretty good. And then they played Evanston, and I believe they lost to Evanston. There isn't no score on Max Preps right now, but either way, the Rebels, they're got a tough schedule.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that would have been.
and the boys do play North Summit on the 18th. So next Thursday,
Okay.
we'll figure out that.
So the Evanston game, that would have been Coach Cornea going back to where he started his coaching career. I'm pretty sure he coached for Evanston.
Yeah.
So, and then we'll roll into the girls' top 5 for Des News right now. So number 1, they've got Panguitch with a 3-2 record, Tabiona with a 4-0 record, Wayne with a 5-0 record. Number 4 is Rich with a 1-2 record, and rounding out the number 5 is Valley with a 4-1 record. Valley is a team that we didn't really talk about a whole lot last time.
No, definitely not their boys, because on Max Preps, there is nothing uploaded on there.
Yeah.
But I did dig into a little bit of their. I did watch their game against Milford, and I will get into that a little later. But
And like we said before, some of these teams, if we don't have a lot of info, all we have is Max Prep and Des News. So if there's nothing on there, unless we watch the games like you did, but that's not going to give us, leading scorers, leading rebounders, stuff like that. So we'll do our best. We'll keep watching for things to update, but if they're not on there, and if we don't really say, this player's doing this, that's why, because we just don't have the information. So
yeah. So
we can go to the Max Preps real quick. They've got in the boys at number 1 Bryce Valley, number 2 is Paiute, number 3 is Manila, number 4 they've got Pinnacle with a 5-0 record. And then they've got Wayne rounding out the top 5.
And and looking at Wayne, I know we didn't talk about him last week, but they're looking actually really decent this year.
They beat Panguitch, the boys, just a few days ago. I can't remember which day it was.
So, Wayne's program on the boys and girls side is really looking good.
Yeah.
So,
you got a 4, or what were the girls? 5-0, and their boys are 4-2. So yeah, they both had a good start to the season.
Being a Badger right now, it's fun.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so for the girls' side, for the Max Preps top 5, apparently I didn't complete my homework assignment because I've only got 4 on here. I can't remember what that 5th team was. So I guess I'll give you the top 4 from Max Preps. They've got Wendover at number 1 with a 5-1 record. Milford at number 2 with a 4-1, Paiute number 3 at 2-3, and then they've got Altamont at number 4. And clearly, I didn't write their record down either, so I didn't do very good on my So yeah, that's kind of your standings right now as far as Des News and Max Prep is concerned. Like we said, we don't know how they do that. We're not sure, but that's what they've got them listed at.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to next week because the RPI is definitely going to be more spot on. So
Yeah, I mean, if that's what the UHSAA is going
but
off of, and they're going to
like we said, we want to try and be a 1A podcast that covers every team, not just the top 3-4 play or teams. We want to try and let everyone know how everyone's doing. So that's why we figured we'll bring in some of them that we haven't talked about.
So from there, we're going to kind of start right now with a couple of the Tabby games, and then we'll get into some of the other teams. So last Saturday, that would have been the day after we recorded last week's episode, is Milford came here.
Oh yeah, and Milford, man, their one player, Sullivan. He is a workhorse. He is a ball player.
Yeah, he's good, and we mentioned him a little bit last week because he was their leading scorer, or I think still is, but when we recorded he was their leading scorer, so we did mention him a little, but we did get to watch him on Saturday, and it was, in the first half, well, he come out, I want to say it was him, hit a three, less than 10 seconds into the game. So first shot goes up, goes in, and they just kind of carried momentum from there, and they played extremely well. He had 18 in the first half.
Oh yeah, it was looking rough for the Tabiona Tigers first quarter.
Yeah, they didn't well, and that's kind of been a weak point for Tabby's boys too, is their first quarters haven't really been all that strong. But I think he ended the game that day with 31 here in Tabby. Tabby didn't end up, the second half. Sullivan, well, he actually in the second quarter he kind of got a silly foul, gave him his third foul, so he had to sit for most of the second quarter, and then coming out in the third quarter he just kind of went cold.
Yeah,
couldn't get anything to fall. Maybe he had a little too much rest, because we know that can happen. But what I saw from that, and I thought it was interesting, when he went cold, and you could tell he didn't have a whole lot of momentum, the rest of the team kind of just went cold as well.
Yeah,
it's like they feed off of his energy, his momentum, his abilities. That's kind of what a team leader does. They're able to pull everybody together. But you could see in the team that when he slowed down, they also slowed down.
Oh yeah, and it's hard to see your team leader go on the bench. He's even after the Tabiona game, he's still averaging 17 points a game. So yeah, when your star player goes out like that, obviously as a coach, you're hoping that one of your other boys is going to step up. Mm-hmm. But 17 points a game, that's hard to fill,
Yeah.
But, and then you got right behind Sullivan is Ashworth, and he's been playing really well too. He's averaging 11.7 a game. And then, but yeah, between Ashworth and Sullivan, Barnes,
and Barnes, he kind of, he hit a few shots too, but he also went cold. And that Ashworth, I thought he did I don't know what he ended up with. Does it say right there for a total in that game? Have you got it?
Not in that game. I just have their overalls.
I don't remember what he ended up with, but I feel like he had an okay game. But like I said, when Sullivan got cold and lost his momentum, it's just like the whole team did. It just kind of sucked the wind out of them, and they did struggle. The Tabby ended up beating them by, oh gosh, I don't remember the score. It was 15, give or take. So they did.
But like I said, a lot of that was just because Sullivan came out and he was putting up shots, but they just weren't going in.
Yeah, they were. He just couldn't get them to fall. And starting the third quarter, or maybe it was when he went out in the second quarter, the Tabby Tigers put on a little bit of full court pressure, and they got 4 or 5 turnovers in a row, and was able to come back and kind of build some momentum on their end. But yeah, he just, like you said, he was getting the shots, just they weren't going like they were in the first half. But he still ended up with 31 in the game, so it's not like he had a terrible game.
And one kid I did watch was old Merriweather. He's a hustler for the Milford Tigers. You can tell he might be one of the most athletic kids on their team. from what I watched, especially watching the Valley game as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a hustler, and I feel like teams got to definitely watch him as well. So, yeah, that kind of covers the battle of the Tigers, I
Battle of
guess
the
you would
Tigers.
say.
I told my wife when that game started, I says, you know what? I'd bet just about anything I have. This is the oldest joke in the book, but I knew she hadn't heard it. I said, I'll bet anything I've got right now. I'd probably bet the house on it. The Tigers are going to win tonight. She's like, you think? And I says, oh, I guarantee it. And I let her sit there for a minute, and I could tell she was just kind of thinking, like, wow, okay, that's pretty bold. I leaned over, I said, Milford's also the Tigers.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Oldest joke in the book, but it works every time.
Right.
All right, so yeah, that covers that game. And then Wednesday, Green River came up. Boys and girls both played that day. I don't know a lot about the situation, but I feel like I want to mention it just a little bit. Green River went through a pretty horrific tragedy in their town. Their mayor, unfortunately, lost his life. I think they said it was in a car accident. And, you know, that's tough for any community to go through. And you could tell, I think, that some of the players were kind of really feeling it. You know, he was highly involved in the school. I think Mr. Jenkins said he was the English teacher. He was also involved in several other activities at the high school there in Green River. So, you know, our thoughts go out to the people of Green River, and we're sorry that you're going through what you're going through. But I just felt like maybe it'd be good to mention that. I know a couple of kids from guys from Green River that I played ball against. Don't really talk to him much, but I see him a lot on Facebook. You know, Cody Webster. I played against him. He was a good ball player. And I kind of seen that he had said something about their town going through something, but I didn't know what it was. And then Jenkins kind of let us know, and I thought it was pretty cool that the whole gym, you know, I don't know if you noticed this, but when he asked for the moment of silence, when he was talking, kind of explaining what was going on, you could hear babies in the background and kids, but it was so crazy. I mean, as soon as he said, "Can we do a moment of silence?" I'm not kidding you, it was silent. There wasn't a baby crying. I was like, man, that is kind of crazy how that worked out, because babies are babies. They don't know they're still going to do their thing, but it got silent. And I just thought it was cool that Mr. Jenkins took the time to recognize Green River. You know, Green River, Tabby and Green River have played each other since the beginning of time, you know, so there's a history between the two. And like I said, our thoughts go out to you guys, and we wish you the best. So on to the games. With that being said, I don't know the situation with the girls. I was told a couple of different stories, so I'm not going to say because I don't know. But what I do know is their girls only had 5 players. And I don't care how good you are, how whatever it might be, 5 players to play a full entire game is pretty tough.
Yes.
And you could tell that they were a little bit winded. The Tigers did end up winning that game pretty handily, the girls.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell Green River, they must be trying to get their program back in it. I mean, and you got to start somewhere.
Well, and the 5 girls that did play, I'm sure that situation was weighing on their mind too. You know, that's hard to play through. You watched another school, the Rebels went through that last year with the boy that was on their team that unfortunately lost his life too. And it's tough on people, you know, and then you expect kids to go out and play a game when something like that happens. They're not, you know, it's not all going to be there for them. So, but anyway, after that, I don't remember the score of that girls' game, 82-24, I think it was. Right. So it was a pretty lopsided game, but you know, the Tabby girls, a lot of them, they did shoot the ball pretty well.
Yeah, a lot of fast break opportunities.
A lot of threes. I think every girl but one on the team was able to score. The freshmen came in. I know both freshmen hit a few threes.
Angie and Kaya came in. They was hitting threes, you know. I mean, it was a good game for them to get a little confidence.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a game that the Tigers definitely handled really well. So.
And then on the boys' end, they played right after, which we knew
was a ball game.
And we knew it was going to be. We had mentioned Green River the week before, so we knew it was coming in. It was going to be a good game. Plus, you got Coach Parsons at the head.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal coach as well. But yeah, I mean, you want to talk about one kid that went off is Mendez, man. That kid, he came into the game with a really not as good as a shooting percentage from the 3. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like all the attention has been on the point guard, Jason Hernandez. But, he came into the game, and Coach Giants had a game plan to obviously try and shut down Rolando and Hernandez, but Mendez stepped up. I think he ended with 7 or 8 threes. I mean, I can dig in right here.
I was going to say, did they put it on there?
Mendez, 7 3-pointers.
Yeah, 7 for what? What was his?
Oh, how many did he attempt? I
Does
don't
it
think
not
it,
show
I don't think
that?
it. I don't think it's showing me the attempts, but
Does it show his percentage? We're professional guys, so we're just kind of.
it doesn't show. It doesn't show his 3-point.
Well, either way,
either.
7 threes in a game, and he just, a big part of. And I'm not taking anything away from him because he hit 7 threes, but man, you'd look out there and sometimes there wasn't a defender within 10 feet of him.
No, and that's why I said there was so much attention on Hernandez, which he still hit a 3 and he ended with 10 points. I mean, obviously short of his 20 that he's been averaging, but Mendez hit 7 and Rolando hit 5. So right there, that's a chunk of points right there.
Points.
So, and the Tigers, like I said, they was focused on Hernandez and Rolando. You could tell that they had their best defenders trying to cover them. But
well, and Hernandez, like you said, was below his average. But part of the reason, and you kind of hit on this too, why Mendez was so open, is Hernandez. He is so fast.
Oh,
I mean, he takes off and he's good. He's crafty. He can handle the ball.
Oh, he could handle the ball with 5 defenders on him.
Yeah.
Honestly, he is that good. And Green River's coach is running it right. They bring up 2 guys to screen for him, and it opens up everything.
That was the bulk of their offense, from what I gathered, was a pick and roll.
Yeah.
And he's just so quick coming off of that screen, the defenders almost didn't have time to step up and stop it. And when they did, the recovery was a little slow, and he was right on the money with finding the open guy, whether it was Mendez or some of the other guys out there.
And that was the thing. Even Mendoza, when he kicked it to him, he ended the night with 6 points. So, and that was the thing I loved about Green River's boys too, is they had one kid that they brought in just to give someone a breather for a sec. But it's pretty much them 5.
Yeah.
Like, that's their squad. They really don't have a bench that they roll with. So, looking at the Pirates, I was very impressed. I had really been looking forward to watching that game live and, being there. So,
well, the game, that first quarter, I think, is the best first quarter that Tabby has played so far this year.
Definitely.
They were down 2 at the end of the first. There's been several quarters where they're down 10 plus, or several first quarters. So at the half, I think they were down 8. They were right there in it, but then they kind of come out in the third quarter and they were down 17 at one point. So Green River had built almost a 20-point lead.
Yeah.
But what was weird to me is, in the fourth quarter, about halfway through, I don't know exactly, I'm going to guess about halfway through the fourth, Tabby finally found, I don't know if it was sparks, some energy, they found something. And they made a run. They were coming back, playing good D, getting some shots to go, executing. I know Rocky went to the hole pretty hard several times, scored, got fouled, whatever it might be. But it was almost like they needed that energy about 2 minutes sooner than what they found.
Well, and a lot of that, too, I think, was them freshmen again. Coach brought in Hunter and Sam, and they just flat come out, and they work their butts off. Obviously, Coach was trying to put a little more pressure, full court and stuff. But I feel like them freshmen, when they come in, they're a spark.
Well, and I know Sam, he wasn't in very long, and he hit a 3. And you could hear Coach Parsons, as the play was developing, he says, shooter in the corner, but no one could hear him, no one's seen him. So they got it to Sam, and he buried the 3. But, like I said, they needed that spark about 2 minutes before they found it. Because they only ended up losing by 5. They were down 3.
Then had to play the foul game a little bit.
Well, yeah, Strand had a couple of free throws. He missed the first one, made the second one, so they're down 3 at this point with about 5-ish seconds left. And Green River's got to go the length of the floor, so the Tigers pick up a full court, but they let someone slip behind. I think it was Hernandez, just kind of leaned out to the side and flipped it down. Green River got it, made a layup, won the game by 5.
Yeah.
But, if they would have found that fire a couple minutes before, they'd have been in a much better position to win that game. But you can't take anything away from Green River either. As we said,
No.
the way they shot the ball. I'm curious to know, does it say how many threes they had as a team?
As a team,
Because if he had 7,
13.
so just between those two guys, they hit all the threes?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Between Mendez had 7, Rolando had 5, and Hernandez had 1.
Oh, Hernandez had the 1.
Yep.
But, at that point, if I'm a defender and I know this guy's already hit 4 or 5 threes, I think I got to try to run him off the 3-point line.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to strategize here or game plan or nothing. I'm sure Coach had his game plan and his ideas. That's just something that I was thinking. Make the kid drive, see what he can do off the 3. But that's neither here nor there. That's just my 2 cents. It doesn't really mean anything. So.
But yeah, the Pirates, they played awesome. I was glad to get to see them. I mean, they're going to be tough come
Yeah, if
state.
they keep playing like that, they'll have a good year.
And then, but on the Tigers side, Rhodes obviously 23 points in that game. Looking at Des News at the 1A leaders, he is the top.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was averaging about 25 a game.
Yeah, just
but right behind him is Ridge Lundgren, which we're going to talk about him too here in a minute. But I also wanted to put out there Strand had a heck of a game.
He did. He had a great game.
He shot the ball so well against the Pirates, and he was really the one that was keeping the tempo up during that first half, especially.
Well, and he come out and was 3 for 3 from the 3, and I think they were all in the first quarter. Could have been one in the second quarter.
Yeah, he ended with 4 threes, and on the Tiger side, he attempted 6. So I think Coach Jones keeps really good tabs on the Tigers' stats.
So he was 4 for 6.
4 for 6 from
so that's,
3.
I mean, you really can't ask for a whole lot better at 4 for 6 from the 3 as far as the percentage goes.
And then Olsen, Jackson, he made 2. He was a little slow. He was 2 for 9. But he took the opportunities. They're just a little short.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was because the legs got tired near at the end,
but watching Jackson,
but he still finished with 10 points.
I remember saying this during the game. Jackson can shoot the ball, and when you watch kids, there's a lot of kids that they miss 2 or 3, and they're shaking their head, they're burying their head in their hands, and you can tell right off the bat that they're frustrated with themselves. And we might have said this last week. I'll probably say it 100 times because it's just something I notice a lot.
Right.
When a player starts getting in their own head, they're not going to get any better.
No.
I've got a couple of girls I coach on the junior high, and I'm trying to figure out how to get them to stop being so hard on themselves because, like Jackson, he's too good of a player to be that hard on himself. But what I was getting at is he wasn't hard on himself. You could watch him that game, and he'd miss one, and it was just getting back on D. So as a shooter, I'd like to see that from him, that he just kept shooting the ball because he knows he can make it. And that's what shooters have to do. You might come out and have a game where you're 1 for 10, maybe you're 0 for 10. But as a shooter, you got to keep shooting. That's just what you do. But Jackson also has the ability to drive too. Like back to when I played, I didn't.
Right.
I was a shooter. That was it. In fact, I remember one time I drove in, and a kid from Duchesne, he might have blocked it into the 5th row. And when I come back out, Coach says, "Why don't you just stay out there behind that line?" I said, "That sounds good to me." So there's certain, and that's like maybe for me where I'm, as a shooter, I keep shooting the ball. You're going to go through slumps as a shooter. You watch the pros do it. They'll go through slumps where they might have 2 or 3 games where they don't hit much, but you just got to stay out of your own head. But yeah, Green River had a good game. Like we said, they'll be kind of fun to watch and see what they do throughout the season. So.
Yep. Well, so now let's talk about a team that we really didn't talk about last week, but they are to a strong start, and that's Manila.
Yeah.
The Mustangs, Coach Hughes, phenomenal job. You can tell he is a coach that really has a lot of chemistry with his boys. Mm-hmm. You can just see the respect when he has them on the floor and the way the kids react to him, joke with him, different things. So you can definitely tell his chemistry's there.
Well, and he, growing up there, playing ball there, he had a great coach when he was in high school. So he knows the program. He knows what it takes to win. I'm fairly certain he would have been on the team when they won the championship against us in 2005. Because I think he's about Dallas's age. So I think he's only a year younger than me, so he would have been on the team. So he's got the knowledge, the experience, knows what to do to win. And yeah, right now they're at a 7-1.
Yeah,
so,
7-1
yeah,
record.
so
I mean, they did lose to Tinnick. They beat Wendover 58-52. They beat Mount Vernon. They beat Rangeley, Hayden, Mazer Prep, Mountain View, Wyoming. I mean, they've actually played quite a few games, and from what it looks like, they're playing some really good basketball. So,
well, Manila usually does. They're usually a competitor no matter what. So we'll kind of see.
yeah, and looking at their stats, Kel Chowning, he's averaging 19 points a game. So you can tell he's a junior this year. Very good ball player. Right behind him, you got Teague Goodman, averaging 13.5 points a game. And then right behind him, Hudson Blair, 7 points a game. And then Teague Goodman on the rebounding end, he's averaging almost 11 rebounds a game. And Hudson Blair behind him with about 7 rebounds a game. And then this is the most impressive stat when I was looking at Manila's boys. Camden Hughes, he's averaging 8 assists a game. Now, for a boys team,
For any team.
yeah, that is impressive. To average 8 assists a game, so that shows you right there he is very unselfish, and he is looking to get the ball to his teammates.
And they've played 8 games, so it's not like
And
he's averaging that only on a couple.
The other thing, too, is he's a sophomore.
That's
So he's got nothing but improvement
Yeah.
for the next 2 years. So I'm very excited to watch Manila play the Tigers and other teams as well.
And hopefully, I think they broadcast all their games on YouTube. I think I'll have to see if we can get with Coach Hughes and verify that somehow. But I think that's how they do their games, so we could even go onto YouTube and watch a game or two of theirs.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I really would love to watch this, because to see a sophomore, if he's got the the C on the floor to put the ball to get 8 assists a games, because I mean it's not like they've just played 1 or 2 games. They played 8 games now, and
Yeah.
he's still averaging 8 assists.
Well, and I'd like to see, like you said, watch them play to see, like, are they getting these on fast break points, or are they in a set half court offense to where he's just able to see where to put the ball.
Right.
Yeah, that's impressive. 8 assists a game. That's good.
So Manila, yeah, they're looking good. I wouldn't overlook them. That's for sure.
I didn't have them on the girls' end. Do we have what their girls' record is right now?
I can look that up right now. Looking at their girls, they're 2-2. I think they've played they played Tinnick. They did beat Tinnick. Lost to Wendover. They beat Mazer Prep, and they lost to American Heritage.
Which
So
I think Wendover's girls are pretty good again this year. They
Yeah.
weren't too bad last year, and they didn't lose much as far as seniors go in numbers last year. So
yeah, and and looking at their stats, they got Cassidy Wall. She's averaging 20 a game. Charlie Potter right behind her at 10 points a game, and then Oakley Browning 9.5 points a game. So I feel like they're kind of a team that, I mean, obviously you got one girl scoring 20, but the other girls, I'm sure, work hard and can score the ball and shoot the ball probably as good as her too.
well, like
So-
we talked last week, if you have a player that's averaging 20, you only need 6 or 8 from a few other
Right.
players, to put together a good solid game. So
And on the rebounding end, you got Oakley Browning. She's averaging about 8 rebounds a game, which is, like I said, impressive for a girl.
how old is she? I remember that
She's
name
a-
from last year.
She's a junior.
A junior this year. Okay.
Yeah, and then Cassidy Wall, 4.5 rebounds a game. And, as far as Cassidy Wall goes, she must be a really good defender, because she's averaging almost 5 steals a game. So
That kind of tells me that if I were, well, I am guessing about it, that she's probably pretty good at getting in the passing lane and seeing the pass before it happens to be able
Right.
to get there to take it.
So yeah, looking at them, like I said, I'm excited to watch their girls play as well, because they definitely look like they're no pushover this year.
Mhm.
So that's kind of how Manila's looking this year, which, like I said, I bet their gyms are fun to go to as well. So
Well, from there we can move on to Rich, which we mentioned we didn't get to talk a whole lot about him, but Lundgren, you remember him from last year as well. You know he's a good ball player.
Just, I mean, good ball player is kind of an understatement. He is phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's one of them players that you have, as soon as he crosses half court, you got to know where he's at, because he can shoot the three, he can drive. I mean, he has the weapons to do anything that a coach honestly just loves to see in a player.
Yeah. Is he a senior this year?
Yes. But obviously, and like I said, I think in the 1A standings he is number two, right behind Rhodes in points per game. But yeah, right behind Ridge, Carter Scott. He is, we always called him the sniper, because it didn't seem like where he was at on the floor from beyond the arc, I mean, it's going in. He is netting every time he shoots the ball, and he's averaging 18.5 points a game. So between Ridge and Carter, they flat up put numbers.
What is that? Basically 42 points a game, 43 points a game out of two players?
Out of two players.
Which could be, that also could be a disadvantage to them as well, because if a coach comes out and the game plan is to shut those two down, and if you hold them to 10 apiece and cut their points in half, that's going to require a lot of step up from the other Rebels not coming off the bench, the other three starters plus the bench. So it could be great for Rich. It could not be so great in some situations,
Yeah, but even looking at last year, they made it to the state championship, and their numbers were probably the same as they are looking right now. And there really wasn't any team that really could shut them down.
Yeah, no, I think they'll be.
I mean,
right
last
back.
year, semifinals game against us, the Taviona Tigers, I mean, it was an awesome game. Did that game go into double overtime?
I think it seems like it did.
But, I mean, you had Ridge and Carter Scott hitting big shots. I mean, obviously on the Tiger end, you had Bryson Fabrizio going in strong, and it was looking good. Even you had Dallin Park making some great moves. But them two, just even in clutch situations, they somehow figure it out and put it in the basket.
Well, and with Rich, they always play tough defense. And they usually have at least two kids that can pick you up full court and pressure you the whole way up the floor. They're scrappy, they're quick, they're tough. A lot of their kids, probably all of them, play football.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, you can always count on Rich on the defensive end. You're not going to come out and put up 60, 70 points against Rich.
And that's the thing. And then you got Holmes, 9 points a game. Weston, 8.5 points a game. Fonsback, 6 points a game. I mean, they're all able to score the ball.
Is that Jet Holmes?
I believe.
Is it Jay?
Jay Holmes,
yeah. It's Jet Holmes. Is he a senior as well?
Yeah. That's the thing about the Rebels. They got to get it done this year, because Ridge is a senior, Carter's a senior, Jet's a senior. Weston's a senior. I mean, you got a group of seniors.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and with them being there last year, having the experience, having the knowledge of what it took to get them to that championship game, it didn't leave them, and they're probably coming back this year with a chip on their shoulder.
Oh, definitely.
So they'll be another tough. Rich is always tough. They'll be right there in the top again, I'll bet.
Yeah, and like I said, they've been, like I said, a contender. Even when I played, they got their first state title. They was a stacked team. With Wyatt Muirbrook being the MVP and Jaden Wallentyne and Brown, they all just was so good, and like I said, they're coached well and their programs just run so well.
That's what I was gonna say. Credit. I'm sure a lot of this credit is due to Coach Cornea, because you can have all the skilled players. We've seen it maybe on the professional level where you have certain players get together and they just stack a team, but they don't win.
Yeah.
So when you got a group like that where your team is stacked, you have a lot of talent. Your coach has to be a big part of that to make the program work, which he is and he has been. So they'll be a good team again, and they'll be right there come state.
Oh yeah, if Rich is coming to your gym or you're going to theirs,
Rich is a tough place to
win. Be ready
win.
for a dogfight.
Rich is a very, very tough place to win every year. I'll go out here just a little bit. When I was a senior, I believe that's the first time Tabby had won in Rich in close to 10 years.
Wow.
So it's a very, very tough place to win. Their crowd is always into it. Their student body is amazing when it comes to, cheering and making noise. So good atmosphere up there. I like to go up there because we get to see. There's some people up there in Rich County that I really, really like, and never get to see them. Tracy and Debbie Hatch, two of my favorite people. Their boy Brandon Hatch, I played ball against him. Love chatting with him. His little boy was giving me some crap down at the state tournament last year, and it was just fun. So I like to go to Rich if I get the opportunity to see some of those people, but because Rich reminds me, all these small towns, I guess, but I don't know the other small towns, but it reminds me a lot of Tabby,
Yeah.
So it's a fun place to go. Good people up there, good program.
And by golly, it's always cold up there too.
Yeah.
So.
Sometimes it's colder up there than it is down here.
But hey,
what
December's
about
been beautiful though.
Yeah.
So
yes.
we can't complain.
What about their girls?
So on their girls' end, their schedule has been. They're only 1-2, but their schedule has been extremely tough. They played Mountain Crest out of Hiram. They're, I believe, a 4A school. They got beat pretty good by them, but like I said, I know that 4A team is really well built. North Summit, they played them, lost to them, but I know North Summit in the 2A, they're like top 2, I believe. So then they came and they played Rollins, Wyoming. Must have played extremely well, beat them really good. So as far as our girls, yeah, they might not have a winning record right now, but they've played some tough teams.
So they're a little I guess they've only played one less game than the boys, so they're kind of right there.
Right.
I keep forgetting that their season started a little bit later, so I'm always confused as why they're.
But yeah, looking at their top scorers, you have Molly Weston. She's averaging 9.5, and then behind her, Paige Smith averaging 9 points a game. Sloan Wooden's averaging 9 points a game. McKinnon's averaging 7 points a game. So
they're all
sounds
pretty
like
close.
Yeah, looking at their girls, you got to guard every one of them. There's really no star from what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be ready for every single one of them. So, and then looking at their rebounds a game, you have Paige Smith. She's averaging pretty much 7 rebounds a game. Maddie White, 5 rebounds a game. Weston, 4 rebounds a game. So, like I said, looking at them, they definitely are well-rounded. But steals per game here too. Molly Weston, she's averaging 4.5 steals a game. So be ready for her if you're a girl that's got her defending you.
Well, and that's exactly how the boys is. I'm assuming they're related with the same last name. I don't know if they're siblings, cousins, or what. But that Drake Weston for the boys plays the exact same way. He will get steals up top when you're trying to bring the ball up the floor. So I'm not surprised.
But yeah, so
I'll have to. Now that's going to be on my mind. I'm going to have to get a hold of. I talked to Bradley Holmes up there a little bit here and there. He's actually one from out of town that reached out and said he listened too. So thank you, Bradley, if you listen to this one. But I'd be curious to know if you do listen. Message me and let me know. I'm curious if those two are siblings or cousins or how that works. So
yep. But yeah, looking at Rich, they're tough this year. So excited to see what happens with them.
Moving on to the next one we wanted to talk about. You were able to watch the Wayne and Panguitch girls game.
Yes, and watching that game, I won't lie, it was very slow, and it was a little bit, kind of frustrating to watch because,
A little sloppy.
it was very sloppy. And I know the girls they were probably very nervous because you got Wayne coming in 4-0, Panguitch obviously in the top 5 of our power rankings.
And Panguitch being one of those teams where they're always right up towards
they're
the top.
they're always right there. But
and that game was where?
It was in Panguitch.
In Panguitch.
Yeah. And yeah, so when I was watching that game, yeah, it was very sloppy. I think in the first half, each team had 13 turnovers apiece.
Yeah.
So I mean, there was just a lot of, and like I said, the turnovers. It was just a lot of bouncing off the toe, dribbling out of bounds. Passes to girls that weren't even there. I mean, it was definitely one of them that I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting it to be that sloppy, but then you came into the second half. Obviously, the girls must have got more tuned in. Wasn't as nervous. Yeah, definitely ready to play ball.
I'm sure there was some good speeches from each coach.
Oh,
about
I guarantee.
The sloppy first half and not wanting to carry that into the second half.
But I'm trying to find the...
Well, if I remember right, you were telling me that the girl that we talked about from Wayne last week, Van Dyke, which we knew was good,
she was definitely the difference in the game. So
come out and hit some threes.
Oh, she's very strong with the ball. When she gets the ball down low, I mean, she's hard to stop down low. But what was impressive to me is there'd be a three-pointer would go up by one of the other girls, and she would get the ball, dribble it right out to that three-pointer, and let that baby fly, and it was going in for her. I think she finally got that spark rolling for the Badgers, and I think she had 3 threes to end the game, but she ended with 21 points. And like I said, the reason why the Badgers really took off, and it was definitely because of Van Dyke. She is just a very good ball player. And her percentage, I mean, she shot 58% in that game. So, and like I said, she's definitely taken the bulk of them.
And they ended up getting them by, 15 or so?
Yeah, 14.
14.
But one girl from Wayne that I thought does really well on the defensive end is her name is Timber Wood. She ended with 8 points. She was kind of had a little slow. She was 2 for 10 on the field goals, but she plays hard defense. Like you can definitely tell in her she's not gonna make nothing easy. If you have her defending you have to be a smart. Yeah, you gotta be a smart ball player. So I really liked watching her. But then Van Dyke definitely was the difference in that game. But
as a leader of the team, that's kind of expected of you too. So for her to be able to come out and figure that out in the third quarter was crucial for them.
Yeah, and then as far as on the Bobcats end, they haven't put the stats in for that game yet. So I can't really talk stats on them, but
and while we're on the subject here, the boys also played, and Wayne's boys did beat Panguitch.
Yeah, and I haven't really dug into that.
I haven't either.
I need to.
I'm like you. This past week was so between the junior high games we had, the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. So Boston's team, they had games yesterday. So earlier in the week, I was thinking, all right, Friday's my day that I can, kind of do all this. And then Wednesday night at the game, Sam came over and says, hey, we've got this tournament coming up here. Some boys, they got game. I'm like, oh, well, they went my free days. So, but it's good. It's fun. It's just, man, it's so busy. It's hard to catch up on all of this. But
yeah, looking at the Bobcats, I know Tate Miller. I know she was doing what she does as far as against the Badgers. And then you had Owens. It seemed like she had a little tougher night shooting the ball as well. And then you had Torgerson and Hatch. I mean, they all, like I said, I would not judge Panguitch off that game.
No.
Because I felt like they did not play to their potential.
Well, and even, wins, losses, 14-point losses, it's nothing, like you said. I don't think you judge you can't really judge game by game or one game in particular, because everybody's going to play different, and
Yeah.
Wayne hasn't lost a game yet. So
yeah, they're hot.
I don't think anybody was expecting that to just go one way or the other. It was kind of one of those deals like, well, this is probably going to be a pretty good game, and like you said, maybe it was a little slow, a little sloppy in the first half, not quite as good and entertaining, but But both teams will be right there towards the top at the end of the season. I'm pretty sure of it, as long as everyone stays healthy and the programs keep running like they are. So
Right. Yeah. So, anyways, that's what I would have to say about the Penguin Wayne game. Like I said, it was a good game, but it definitely was sloppy. But I mean,
and everybody, you're gonna have those nights, boys, girls.
but you got to hand it to Van Dyke. Shot the ball very well and definitely put her team in that rhythm to win the game. So.
And moving on from there, you also watched the Valley and Milford
boys
game.
I did. So Valley, as far as Max Prep goes, they don't have their roster updated. They don't have any stats. They really have nothing to go off of. But they were in our power ranking last week, so I definitely wanted to figure out their squad and see what they was doing. So I did. I dug in and I watched them play Milford and Valley. They play that 2-3 zone. I mean, I think they played that
for as long as I can remember.
They're definitely a zone team.
Mm-hmm.
They love to play that zone. Sometimes they'll extend it out a little bit, but yeah, they definitely love that zone play. But yeah, looking at Valley though, that first half, Milford, the Sullivan kid, was kind of in that same boat. Kind of struggled a little bit. Couldn't get his shot found, and they was just getting out rebounded. But Valley, they have one player. When I was watching it, he's number 33, Harris. He's their big player, and you can definitely tell they try to get him the ball down low. He's very, very strong, and if he gets it down low, I mean, if he's in the paint with the ball, it's usually going in, or he's headed to the free throw line, or he's really getting that offensive rebound if you're not really getting the box out on him. So just watching him, you could definitely tell he was their go-to as far as in the paint. And then you got House. He's number 23. You can tell he is their go-to shooter. Like, it didn't matter where he was on the floor. If he was 3-4 feet behind the line, I mean, he was looking to shoot the ball. He struggled big time against Milford, which, like I said, you can't go off of one game, because I'm sure he's probably had games where he's hit 5 or 6 a night.
Well, and that's what's hard too, with not being any stats in there. We have nothing to go off of. Where, like you said, the previous games he may have hit some, and maybe he hasn't. It's hard to say because we just don't.
I would just say the way Coach Hoyt lets him shoot, I would say he's very confident in House. Because, I mean, you can tell when he gets the ball, I mean, he's putting it up there looking to make.
And usually that's, you can tell if they're shooting like that, then yeah, usually they can shoot.
But yeah, Valley definitely struggled from the three. I mean, I was keeping track the first half, and they was 1 for 18 from the three.
Ooh.
And they was still beating Milford. So.
And that's a rough night.
It seemed like both games I tried to watch this week, it was rough that first half. But then they got another guard here, their point guard Chamberlain. He's number 5. I mean, he's just a very unselfish point guard. I mean, he does look to score the ball, but he looks to find his teammates first. And he plays really good defense. I mean, I've always told, when you're playing a zone, defense is almost, I mean, you got to work harder in a zone than you do man, because you have so much more area you got to keep. I mean, you got to keep your hands up. You got to know where the ball's going, and I mean, everyone's got to be on the same.
And zone can make rebounding harder.
Oh, it makes it extremely hard, and that's what I was impressed with too with Valley, is even though they're playing that zone, they rebound really well. So.
But if you take that, like we said, that Valley has played the 2-3 zone for as long as we can remember, it's not like it's something that these kids are just starting to learn or figure out. I don't know what their younger program is like, their junior high and below that, but I would imagine they have it. And so if they do, that's something that, the kids are told, this is the 3-2, this is where you box, this is what you do. So It's a little bit different where you sometimes switch from a man to a zone. You know, if you're especially if you're used to playing man, and then you switch to a zone, that's when boxing out can be a little harder.
Yeah.
Because you're just not used to it.
Right.
But for a team like Valley, where that's all they play, and they may go man once in a while, I'm not sure, but the large majority is zone. So these kids are just taught that. So it's
Right.
it's almost like where for most of us that played man comes natural of how to box out. Same for them. Zone is natural to them, so it just comes. It's just how it is. So.
Yeah, and then looking at this next player is Smith. He's number 2. In my opinion, he is the hard worker of the Buffalo squad. He's one that's going for every offensive rebound. He had multiple offensive boards and putbacks up to keep his team rolling. I mean, he finishes so well around the rim. I watched from that game, and he is definitely their hustle player. So I would say if he is your task to try and stop, you need to definitely work your guts out and keep him off them offensive rebounds and things. So, but yeah, watching Valley that second half, Milford turned it on, and a lot of that was because they started putting the full court pressure. I mean, they did a little bit of press and trap, but it was mainly just full court man to man. And Valley struggled, man. You can tell they have a lot to work on when it comes to pressure, defense, full court. You know, in those clutch situations. Because if they get you in a half court set, they're tough. I mean, especially when they got Harris and House, just they look like they're good scorers. So I expect to see Coach Hoyt definitely working on his boys with that pressure, full court man. I mean, breaking the press, that type of thing, because I feel like right now that's their weakness. So if they can definitely figure that out, they're going to be a very tough team to beat. So that's as far as I got on Valley from watching them against Milford. I'm excited to see a little more, try and watch a few more of their games. So,
and hopefully we get some stats put in to have something to go off of. So.
But I can tell you right now, Harris, I guarantee you he is probably leading them in points and rebounding. So, and there was a couple of Harrises on the floor, but this is the number 33. So,
all right, well, moving on to the next one, Tinnick. They're another team we didn't talk a whole lot about last week. Right here off the bat, we'll give a little shout out and thank you to the girls' head coach, Camby. I think it's Eva is how you say it.
Yeah.
Most of you know, some of you may not. She is a Tabby alum. So she grew up here, played ball here, won a state championship here.
Yeah, she played on, she's my cousin. She played on the state championship team with my sister, Skya. So she knows the hard work and dedication it takes to win a state title.
And that team was basically 5. They had Savannah, Skya, Camby, Whitney, and Stacy.
Yep.
So it was pretty much a five girl team. And yeah, they brought the first championship to Tabby for the girls.
Yep, that was back in 2007.
But she left us a comment on the show, and I just wanted to tell her thank you. And it's been fun to watch her. I don't think it was last year. It was probably the year before. I don't know if this is her second or third year as their coach. I think it was her first year that she took over the head coach for the program. I didn't know. And we were at the game, and I look over, and I'm thinking, man, she looks familiar. And it took me a couple minutes. I was like, holy crap, that's Camby. So I ended up talking to her after the game and, just telling her, man, I didn't know you were the coach, and I think that's pretty cool. Seems to have, last year they kind of struggled, they at the region tournament I watched them a little bit. I can't remember the game. Anyway, it was a pretty close game right down to the wire, but it's fun to see somebody that you know personally coaching, whether it's here or somewhere else, like in her case, and you can see that she has fun. The girls have fun with her. So just a shout out to Camby. Thanks for watching. And continue doing what you're doing. It's been fun to watch you coach that girls program.
Yeah, because, I feel like she's really brought the program up significantly. So, yeah, congratulations,
well, and I
Camby.
think they have a winning record right now, don't they?
Yeah, right now, let's see, I had to pull up. They're 3-2.
3-2.
They beat Green River, lost to Manila, lost to Paiute, beat American Prep, and they beat Roland Hall. So, I mean, the teams they're playing, it looks like they're playing pretty decent. So, looking at their stats, Kaya Farr, she's averaging 7 a game. Then you got Jordan Condor, 6.8 points a game. McKenna Underwood, 6.4 points a game. I mean, looking at them, they've got Cabby's definitely getting 6-7 girls prepared to score the ball all the time. So then on the rebounding end, you got Condor averaging 6 rebounds a game, and Snell, she's a sophomore. She's averaging 6.2 points a game. So I mean, the Miners, I feel like definitely their program is improving. They're actually playing Wayne today, so see how that turns out for them. But yeah, looking at the girls, their program is definitely improving since Canby took over, in my opinion. And yeah, we're excited to watch them in the future. So looking at their boys,
I think their boys lost
yeah,
2 or 3 seniors.
They're definitely to a slow start. They're 1-4. I mean, they lost to Green River. They did beat Manila though, so I mean, right there, she goes to show you if they show up.
Well, and that's Manila's only loss on the season, with
Right.
them being at 7-1. So
Yeah, and then I mean, they lost to American Prep. They lost to Waterford, and they did lose to Panguage. So I mean, their schedule's been pretty tough, really, looking at their schedule. So, and they actually play Millard today, so they definitely got a tough assignment today as well. So,
and like we kind of mentioned him last week, Hagen Jameson. I remember watching him play last year, and he's a pretty good ball player. So I'm sure
he's averaging 18 a game
So-
right now, and then behind him, Luke Hansen 10.5, Braylon Jones, he's averaging 10. So between them three, you definitely are putting up a lot of points for the Miners. And then going to their rebounds a game, Hagen Jameson's right there at 8.3. So, and Braylon Jones right behind him, 7.8, and Luke Hansen again, 6.5. So they sounds like they got a trio there that definitely plays well together. So, yeah, the Miners, I definitely wouldn't just show up to their gym thinking, it's going to be anything easy, because I can promise you it's probably not going to be.
Well, I've only been to one game in Tinnick, and I think it was a couple years ago. It was before I moved back. We drove down there and watched them, and it was loud in there. It was pretty packed. The fans showed up.
Yeah, their gym's definitely the older school gyms. Everything's extremely loud in there, and a little tighter.
It's a more compact gym.
Yeah, yep.
That's the kind of gym I played in.
Yeah.
Except for, region, we played at Emory High School, and then in state I went back and forth between Cedar City and Orem at UVU. But yeah, those kind of smaller, tighter gyms, there's something different about them,
Right. So then I think we want to talk a little bit on Milford's girls.
Yeah, we've got Milford's
because
girls.
We've talked about their boys fairly well. I wanted to kind of go over their girls just a little bit.
Which the girls right now are sitting at 5-1.
Yeah, 5-1. They're playing very well. The McMullen, she's their team leader with 20 points a game. So I mean, you got to show up, and coaches got to try and shut her down from what it's looking like. Yeah, this Dalton, she's averaging 10 a game, and then Cedillo, she's averaging 5 a game, and then on the rebounding end, Dalton's averaging 11.5 rebounds, so she's averaging a double-double right now, which for a girls' team, I mean,
that's
almost unheard of
for
really.
any team. That's to average a double. That's pretty good.
So yeah, right now she's averaging a double, and like I said, they played What was their record again?
5-1.
5-1. So they played 6 games, and she's averaging a double-double. So, yeah, whoever gets her for their defensive assignment, I mean,
I wonder what does it list? What position does it list her as?
she's a center power forward.
Okay, I was gonna say if
And then McMullen is their point guard, and she's a junior. Dalton is a junior as well. So,
say how tall she is.
I would have to do a little more.
That's okay. I was just the reason I'm asking these questions is we had talked last week about Bella, and I don't know if those two teams will play each other or not unless it happens to be at state. But I was just trying to think when you said whoever's got the assignment of guarding her, watching Bella play defense over the year, that might be a fun matchup to watch. But if there's a huge height difference, it probably wouldn't be the matchup. But
yeah, and right here I can't. It just says she's the forward center
okay.
position. So, but anyways, yeah, looking at Milford's girls, I mean, between them two, they look pretty tough. So,
good deal. Well, that'll kind of wrap up the games and stats and everything for this week. We will jump into our little memories on the hardwood segment.
Yeah, I love memories on the hardwood, and I know we haven't had anyone send us anything into our email, but please, guys, don't be scared to share your memories.
Guys, let me say this. We've got over 100 views and downloads on this podcast. Some of you guys have got something.
Yeah, please.
Give us something. I ran into Virtus at I think it was a junior high game our girls had up here the other night, and he was one that told me he had listened to it, and his dad says, well, you probably got some memories. I says, I know you've got some memories, man. Send us something.
Yeah,
so
send us something.
He said he'd work on something. We'll see if he gets us the memory or not. And I guess before I forget, we'll just give you that email one more time. It is the GD1A Sports Podcast at gmail.com. So send those in to us. Like we said before, anybody. You don't have to be from Tabby. You can be from any of these 1A schools. If you got something, I don't know, maybe some people, because like for me, I used to be a little shy because I'm like, well, I know this person, but they don't know me. Well, now I don't care. Like
please.
I'll send you something. I'll talk to you or whatever. So if you got something, don't be, a little hesitant or anything because you don't know us. We don't care. There's a pretty good chance that we may not know you personally, but we would know who you are because we have both followed Tabby on a basketball since we have been out of school. So a lot of these kids, we do know who you are.
And we've
coaches.
We've studied basketball, and like I said, not Tabby. I mean,
yeah.
There's a reason we wanted to take on this task to put a podcast out, and it's because we already look at the information. We might as well talk about it. So,
well. So for the memories, we'll just do some of ours again this week until we hopefully start getting some emails in. So do you want to go first again, or do you want me to this time?
Go for it.
Okay. So my memory this week will be, again, my senior year. We had Manila at home. Manila was probably our biggest competitor that year.
Right.
We, over the course of the season, ended up playing them 4 times.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately for me, they got us on the 4th time, which was at the state championship. Ended up beating us by 2. They had some great players. Casey Robinson. I'm blanking on his last name right now. Jeff Catron. Which, kind of funny, that 4th, 5th, and 6th grade tournament we had up here last night with the boys, Jeremy Catron, Jeff's older brother, was the coach for the 3rd and 4th grade team. Yeah. So, but anyway, we had them here at home. We had beat them already in Manila by I think it said 13 when I looked earlier. So it was a dogfight the whole game. If my memory is correct, we were tied, and there wasn't much time left on the floor or in the game. I want to say 5 seconds, give or take. Whatever had happened, it was our ball underneath. I was usually the one that took the ball out on out-of-bounds plays. We had 2 plays, box and reverse, very similar to each other, but box was one and reverse was the same play, just reversed, right?
Right.
So coach is calling out the play box, and I don't know why, but something in my gut just told me that reverse is going to work.
Yeah.
Coach is screaming, box, 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 and I'm screaming, reverse, reverse, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, I looked at all the 4 guys on the floor, I said, reverse. Slapped the ball. We took off, got it in. Jay gets it, gets a 2-and-1.
Jay Van Tassel.
Jay Van Tassel, yeah, sorry, Jay Van Tassel. I get it into him. He goes up, gets fouled, makes the basket. And like I said, I want to say there's about 5 seconds or so left. Goes to the free throw line, makes it, and gives us the lead, and they don't have much time to go down the floor. Now, I could not remember the score. My memory's not that great. But as we had mentioned before, the Tabiona Basketball Encyclopedia, Coach Jones, I reached out to him to ask him if he could remember the score. He says he's not 100% sure, but 52-49 comes to his mind. And Dally and I both thought, well, if he's saying that score, that's got to be pretty dang close because he's not just going to make up numbers. So whether that's the score or not, we're not 100% sure, but we did end up winning the game. And after the play, when Jay scored, I just kind of looked at Coach because I didn't know. I'm like, I might be in trouble here. I didn't run what he called. And it was almost just like that little bit of a nod, like, yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
But I always wonder if he wanted to just wring my neck because I was not running what he called. But like I said, just for some reason, that gut feeling told me that reverse was going to win or going to work.
Right.
And so we rolled with it, and it ended up in our favor, thank goodness, because if not, I may have been in a world of trouble. But so that'll be my memory for this week. So what do you got for us?
So my memory, go back to 2013. I was a sophomore, and we was at the state tournament playing St. Joe. Hard-fought game, come down the wire. And like I said, I was a sophomore, didn't really play a lot of varsity, but coming in into the fourth quarter, it seemed like we had a bunch of foul trouble. So me and my buddy Nathan Webb got put in the game because, like I said, I'm pretty sure there was a lot of the seniors and stuff were fouled out. So me and him are in the game, and we're down 3. And I'm not sure what happened. A shot went up, and I ended up getting an offensive rebound. And like I said, there had to have been 3 seconds left in the game. I get this offensive rebound, and I just see Webb in the corner, and I just flip that thing to him as fast as I could. And he gets this shot off, and boom, it goes right in. And so as a sophomore, hitting that shot to take us into overtime, now it's overtime, and me and Nate and I believe Harley and I'm sure Slim was probably there too. You're relying on sophomores now to come out, and it seemed like the game went pretty well for us. We came in, we scored the basket, and we ended up winning, and we got to push, honestly, save the seniors from dying on that. So I like to look back at that memory because, like I said, I was young. We were sophomores put in a position that was just very...
Something you're not used to.
No, definitely not used to. And you got to hand it to Nate to come off the bench cold and just put a 3 in that really just took the wind out of St. Joe right there, because they thought they had that game won, especially when you see all the sophomores in there playing. So yeah, that's my memory.
Well, if I can add something to that, I don't think, not taking anything away from him, but you can't give Nate all the credit.
Yeah.
Because you yourself said you got the offensive rebound. So, had you not went for that, St. Joe maybe gets the rebound, game over.
Right.
So, pat yourself on the back a little bit there, bud.
Yeah. But, yeah, so let's look at some of the games going to be played here.
Yeah, the upcoming schedule. I guess we can just it won't take that long. We'll just kind of go through all the days and just tell you who's playing.
Right.
So today there's 8 games going on today. Dugway and Monument Valley. They must be at a tournament or something, because Dugway also plays Escalante. Beaver Dam plays Escalante. Altamont plays Pinnacle. Wendover and Battle Mountain. Bryce Valley and Whitehorse. Paiute, Monticello. Tinnick and Millard, which you had mentioned, they play today. And then we'll, if I can get this to work here, we'll fast forward to Monday. Dugway will play St. Joe. USDB will play Intermountain Christian. Telos will play, I don't know what that, UMACW. I'm not sure who that is. Mount Vernon will play Freedom Prep Academy. Tuesday of next week, Fredonia plays Water Canyon. Water Canyon's another team we haven't really talked about. I don't really know them. I'm not even sure where they're at, to be honest with you. I think they're down by St. George somewhere, but I could be wrong. Draper APA will play Wayne. I think Draper APA is usually pretty competitive in their division. Aren't they 2A?
Is this in the boys' side?
Yeah, this is boys.
I watched them play Duchesne last night, and their boys are a handful, so...
Actually, I think this is boys. It doesn't say. Oh, yeah, boys. It is boys. And then Monument Valley plays Northwest. USDB will play UMAHF. Again, I don't know who that one is. And then Paiute will step up a class, and they'll play Kanab.
Oh, that's... And I've been following the 2A a little bit because my wife's sisters are involved in the 2A. And I know Kanab is... I think they're ranked number 1, and I think they're the pick to win it this year in the boys. So, hey, if Paiute gives them a game, that'll definitely show you the classification that Paiute's going to be in.
So there's Wednesday of next week. There's only 2 games, and the screen's all messed up. So Mount Vernon plays, and it says non-varsity opponents. So I don't know what that means or who that is. And then the other one, it looks to me like St. Joe, and again, the screen's all bunched up. It's not showing me, so something must have went on wrong on Max Prep. Next Thursday, maybe.
If it was.
There we go.
A lot of games.
Intermountain Christian plays USDB. This will be a good game. We're planning on going down and watching it. Tabby will go down and play Duchesne.
Oh, yeah.
Tabby and Duchesne is always a fight. It's always a pretty good game.
That's the bragging rights, you know?
Yeah.
Especially because some of the Tiger players have went down and played football in the past. And so, I mean, we're all really good friends, but you really like to just...
it still has that little bit of a rival.
Yes.
You know, you want to beat... Tabby wants to beat Duchesne. Duchesne wants to beat Tabby. So that'll be a good one to watch. 7 o'clock in Duchesne if anybody up here local wants to go watch that. And then Paiute and Panguitch will play, which I'm sure will be a good game. When those two play, it's always a good game.
It's a rival game as well.
Milford will play Water Canyon. Bryce Valley will play Valley. Wayne and Escalante. Rich and North Summit. Mount Vernon and Merritt Preparatory Academy. And then next Friday, Bryce Valley will play Tinnick. Monument Valley plays Red Mesa. Rockwell and Pinnacle. Escalante Beaver Dam. Mazer Prep Academy and Mount Vernon. Panguitch Pinnacle. Millard Green River. Tabby will play Panguitch. I think that's going to be at the
tournament.
Pinnacle tournament. Whitehorse Mount Vernon. Dugway UMAHF. Manila will play St. Joe, who is, like we had discussed, St. Joe is in our region now with Manila, so that'll be a region game. Valley and North Sevier. And I think that's Hoppy. We'll play Monument Valley. So that'll be the next week ahead of games. I know there was a lot there. You probably won't remember them. I've already forgot them. But
well, that Paiute Panguitch game, I'm probably going to try and watch that game. And
what day did I say it was? Thursday?
I believe. And then obviously the Panguitch Tabiona game.
Maybe we'll have to get together and watch that Panguitch Paiute, because I don't think I've got anything going on Thursday. I know we don't have any junior high, nothing like that.
Yeah,
so.
it's going to be a fun one to watch.
So the upcoming games really quick, just for... we didn't do the girls.
Oh,
you want to do the girls real quick?
I know they're going to be going to the Pinnacle tournament.
That's for Tabby. That's what I was going to say. For Tabby, the upcoming games, like we said, the Wednesday or the Thursday is boys in Duchesne. Was it Thursday? Yeah. And then they both go to the Pinnacle tournament, and I think I was told the girls have 4 games. They play 2 Friday and 2 Saturday, I think, and then the boys have 2 games. I'm not sure if it's both in the same day or one each day, but
either way, I mean, you can probably ramble them off again, but everyone usually is pretty good at looking up the schedule and things.
Well, I know our girls will play Panguitch down there at that Pinnacle tournament.
And that's the game I was talking about. I really want to watch too. Is because our Tabiona's girls hasn't really been, I guess I would say, challenged yet.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see how they do against a top tier team that can really challenge them, so we can watch the girls and see how they play against a team that's really hard nosed defending and different things.
Well, and we'll see what's going on. Maybe we could drive down there. Pinnacle's not far away, just in Price. So
right.
Maybe we could figure out a way to drive down and watch those games. I think real quick, I do want to do the girls because I don't want to leave them out. We want to make sure we get all the games scheduled. So just bear with us here for a couple more minutes. We'll do this real quick. Today for the girls' schedule: Bryce Valley and Whitehorse, Tinnick and Wayne, Paiute, Monticello, Big Piney and Rich. So I would imagine another tough game for Rich's girls. And if this is right, Big Piney hasn't played yet, so it'll be the first game of the year.
Right.
And then must be another tournament type theme because Rich will also play Farson Eden. I'm guessing that's a Wyoming team.
Yeah, it is.
And Manila will play Little Snake River. And then looks like no games for the girls on Monday, so we'll go to Tuesday. USDB plays UMAHF. Monument Valley plays Chinle maybe. Panguitch and San Juan, Wayne Escalante, Monticello, Grand County, and Altamont Duchesne. Wednesday, St. Joe plays UMAHF, Valley and Escalante, Bryce Valley, Paiute, Panguitch, and Water Canyon. Next Thursday, Pinnacle and UMACW, Mazer Prep and Monument Valley, Intermountain Christian and USDB. And then Friday, I don't know how many of these teams are going to be at that Pinnacle tournament. Some of these games will probably be there. It looks like, so our girls will play Milford at this tournament.
Oh, perfect.
So that might be kind of cool to watch since we were talking about the Milford girls. Vanguard Academy plays Monument Valley, Escalante, and Beaver Dam. Whitehorse, Navajo Prep, Bryce Valley, Tinnick. UMACW, Milford. Monticello, Dove Creek, Mazer Prep, and Pinnacle. Manila and St. Joe, Wendover and Granger, Duchesne and Wayne. That might be a pretty good game too.
I guarantee
if Wayne's girls are playing like they are, and I'm sure Duchesne's girls are playing pretty good too.
Yep.
Tabby Panguitch, so that's when we talked about our girls will play. And again, these games are next Friday. And then Whitehorse and Red Mesa. And then Saturday, I'm pretty sure that's a 2-day tournament. So Saturday, our girls will play Monument Valley. Escalante plays Lund, Monument Valley and Milford. Pinnacle and Vanguard Academy. Whitehorse plays Chinle. Escalante plays I don't know how to say that one. Paranegat Valley, something. Tabion and Mazer Prep. Is that who we just played up here?
Yep.
So they'll play them again down there at the tournament. Duchesne and Panguitch. Probably another pretty good game on the girls' side. Whitehorse Mountain View. That's probably not the Mountain View I was thinking of. Rich will play Wendover. Wendover's girls again, 5-1, so that could be a pretty good game. And then Pinnacle and Rockwell. So that'll wrap up the schedule for the girls.
Yeah,
as far as next week goes.
By the time we film next week, I mean, there's still going to be a lot of games not even being played.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because these ones I just mentioned are all Saturday.
Yeah.
These last ones.
And
that's fine. We kind of explained that in the first. This is the best day. Well, this week we're recording on Saturday, but normal it'll be Friday. We just couldn't do it on yesterday, but we'll just have to cover the Saturday games the following week. That's just the way that our personal work schedules allow us to do it. So, anyway, guys, that'll wrap up this week. Looking forward to a lot of good games.
Yeah, and I can't believe we've talked for an hour and 23 minutes.
Tell you, man, like I said, you get going on this. Sorry, guys, my phone just started vibrating. I'm sure you heard every single bit of that, so sorry. But yeah, there's just a lot to talk about, and I think from the feedback we've got, I don't think anybody will be upset about an hour and 25 minutes. So, but that's kind of with me coming into this. If it takes us an hour and 25 to do it, if it takes us 45 to do it, that's whatever. So.
Yeah, and like I said, we're trying to cover every Team 1A, trying to, cover each player that really deserves some recognition. And so our goal is to we're trying not to just focus on the Power 5. We want to try and focus on every 1A team, and that's why. And I think that's a lot of the reason why we're getting a lot of feedback too, is because people know we're not going to just focus on the Tigers and the Rich Rebels and the Bobcats. Like, we're going to talk about, try to get everyone
we can. Yep. Okay, well, that'll wrap it up for this week.
Yep.
Anything else you want to throw out
just
there?
want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you, Coach Gines, for sharing the podcast. And I'm so excited we've done this, and now it's out, and people are, recognizing it. So thank you.
And one more time, if you listen to this on Spotify, if you watch it, give us a follow if you would. If you want to leave a comment, that's great. And then just the email one last time.
Yeah.
The GD1A Sports Podcast at gmail.com. So thanks, everybody, and we will see you next week.
Yep, we'll catch you next week.
Thank you. See ya. Just kind of flip those.